Good morning, bonjour, buenas noches. Welcome to Life's Questions and Lessons. I am your host, Charity Youngblood, and I am so excited and grateful that you are here with me today. This podcast is unedited because life is unedited. As always, we'll get started with a question and whatever activity you engage in to explore your thoughts, emotions, and beliefs, please feel free to do. So today's first question is, what level of fire is in me today? What level of fire is in me today? So I was sharing some of the things that I was working on for the day with my husband, and I mentioned, I had made some changes to the website. I had reached out to a few women to join the podcast creator network. I was working with an Upwork freelancer to create what you have seen, I'm sure by now, the updated cover art for the podcast. I was just kind of sharing some things, and he was saying, wow, I really love this fire that you got going lately. This is really, really good. And when he said that, I was like, I don't really feel like I'm on fire today. Like I didn't really feel like I was doing all that much. And I thought about it later, and he's just an amazing human anyway, my husband, and he's always super supportive. But the question that came to mind from that really kind of, what was I thinking of? I think I started thinking about fire and food because usually I'm thinking about food in some capacity. And I thought about when we're cooking. So if we're cooking something on a flame, you cook at low, you cook at medium, you cook at high, but the fire is still there and it's still burning. And there's different foods you cook at different levels. And I just started to begin to relate that to what I'm doing right now with the business. And I had to bring it to the podcast. I was like, this is a good question to really think about. So as you're exploring this question today, really think about the levels, because I think sometimes it really does take, a wise counsel. And I've said this before, I'll say it again. If you do not have a wise counsel, you need to start assembling your members very, very soon. But sometimes it really does take a wise counselor member to say to you, this is what you're doing. Because when you're in it, it doesn't really feel, or sometimes it doesn't really feel like you're doing, sometimes it doesn't feel like you're doing anything to push the needle forward and to progress. But an outside person, i.e., other than you, will come in and say, wow, you're doing all these things. It's really inspiring. And it makes them, really want to do more, think about the things that are important to them. So as you're thinking about this question, the next question would be, what level am I at consistently, right? What level of fire am I at consistently? Or what level of fire in me is my default? I think that one is definitely one that I would want to tackle, because if my default level of fire, that passion, that drive, if you will, is high, like if you think back to the analogy of the fire over the stove, if my default is high and I'm always on the highest, fire, I'm going to burn out, right? But if my default is high when I need to be, high, when I need to get things done, when I need to be able to incorporate and collaborate and partner with who I need to be with, that's when my fire's on high. And when I need to relax, when I need to restore, when I need to recharge, that's when my fire's on low. When I'm letting the universe do what it's supposed to do, when I'm trusting God to make all of the things happen and flow to my greatest good, right? So I really challenge you to really think about this and how this affects you and whatever project you're currently working on, whether it's your day job, or if you're creating something on the side, any aspect of your life where you are, you have that fire in you, but maybe sometimes you're feeling like it's not enough. Really think about the levels and the levels that will really propel you forward and the level that you need to be on today. So those are the questions I had on my heart today. Really, really appreciate you for listening. Wherever you are listening, please rate or review this podcast. And if this was helpful for you, please share this, because if it was helpful for you, it's probably going to be helpful for someone else. And until next time, take care.